this is the same Donald Trump that they talking about is racist. So I never bought into that. And I realized that, and particularly the Democratic Party, what the Democrat Party does is, like they are the purveyors of race baiting. You know, if you put racism on anything, they know black people gonna sit there and go, what?
Right.
You know?
Yeah, we're like our it's like a dog with a bone. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Quisha King Show. I am your host, Quisha King. Let's get right into it. The Queen of NY, true boogie down Bronx. Thank you, Remy, for that line. So Trump was in the boogie down Bronx. The Bronx, that's my old stomping grounds. That is where I spent a lot of my time in New York as I was in the music industry. Just doing shows and stuff since I was 14 years old. So I have a very close connection to New York, and Trump did a rally in the Bronx. I mean, looks like people are getting fed up with the Democrats. I think they have overplayed there. So the rally was held in Crotona Park, right up the street from Yankee Stadium. That's right near where I used to live. So shout out to everybody on the 4 train over there. A good friend of mine actually helped. And so he is going to share with you his story and also what the rally was like. You probably saw him on Fox the other night with Jesse Waters. I am very, very proud of my friend, John Garland. So let's take a look at John and what he has to say about his experience at this Trump rally. I call him the takeover king. He is my friend, an entrepreneur, an American, a patriot, and a Trump supporter. My friend, John Garland. What's up, John?
Hey, what's up, Quisha?
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for doing this. Listen, I know your schedule is so busy right now. The media is beating down your door. So thank you for taking a moment to sit with me and talk about this incredible experience that you just had at a Trump rally in the Bronx, where how many people showed up?
It's estimated to be 22,000.
That is incredible because, you know, the left will say that not that many people care about Trump. Not people are happy with their lives. They're not coming out to really show that they want change. But 22,000 people came in New York, and one of the bluest counties in New York or across America. I can't remember which one they said. I think they said across America, one of the bluest counties. But they came and showed up for a Republican soon to be president, Donald Trump. What do you think about that?
Well, first off, they didn't show up for a Republican candidate. They showed up for a New York candidate. Donald Trump is from New York. And while, you know, New York is, particularly the Bronx, is a traditionally blue state, it's also a state that the Democrats have let go to shit. And the fact that because I'm one of the organizers, when we organized this, we had people say, oh, this is a roll of the dice. People might boo him. This could go wrong. And I'm like, I'm from the Bronx. Like, these are my people. Like, I talk to these people. We do business together, like my family, like. And this ain't 2016. You know, in 2016, when Trump won, he had an opportunity to prove that he was worthy to be a leader of the country. And given everything that happened in 2020, particularly with COVID, how the economy was turned around, how he was quick, you know, in that crisis to write checks to the American people, the fact that they didn't have all the bureaucracy that's normally undertaken when a virus impacts us and a vaccine is needed. Like, he pushed all of that through, and he did it in the interest of the American people. And I was impressed. I didn't vote for Trump in 2016. I didn't vote for Trump in 2016, but you know, he got a shot. We were doing even with the pandemic, like we were still doing good as a country, in spite of all the negativity, in spite of all the Russian collusion accusations and all that nonsense. Peach Tum, and not only did he stand fast, he stood fast with a level of arrogance that I appreciated, because it showed that he had thick skin.
Yeah. I saw your media hit on Fox where you said Trump has skin as thick as steel, and I'm like, that's pretty accurate. It's pretty accurate. So tell me about, so I know you personally. You know, we've known each other for a really long time. Actually, I don't even know when we started to, but it's been over a decade we've known each other.
Yeah.
And so I connect with you. I'm telling you in 2020, I'm working with Trump, and I have this, Eric Trump is coming to my office, and you're like, yo, Quish, bet I'm there. Tell the audience what happened, why you felt so pressed to come, and just give us a little bit of that story. And I think it's going to really bless a lot of people.
Well, in 2020, right? First, let me tell you that I'm an ex-offender. You know, when I was a kid, I got in some trouble. I got in some serious trouble, and I got sentenced to a significant amount of time in prison. I did 17 years, 17 years and 4 months. And during the time while I was incarcerated, like, I had picked up a skill of sign making and commercial arts. And so when I went to prison, I was 19 years old. I didn't have any marketable skills. You know, I just knew the streets, you know, and, you know, coming up in the Bronx, particularly in the 70s, 80s, I was born in the Bronx, 1967. Coming up in the Bronx in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, like, it was like living in a barren zone. While I was in there, you know, I decided I needed to do something, because when I came out, I didn't want to be in the same circumstances.
Right.
So I went to college while I was there. I got my GED while I was there. I picked up a vocational trade, sign making, and when I got out of prison, I opened a sign business, and started with a little small shop in the Bronx. And then my company grew, and we wind up having 11 an entire franchise, Sign Me Up Signs and Advertising.
Wow.
We had 11 locations in 3 states. There was over 44 people that was, you know, on the company's payroll. And then when COVID hit, I you know, they passed the PPP, the payroll protection plan, and I'm like, okay, like, I got a chance to save my business like everybody else. And when I filled out those documents, and when it said, you know, were you ever convicted of a crime? Like now this is 2020. I came home 2003.
Yeah.
2003.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, I'm my own man. I said, yeah, I got convicted of a crime. And when I hit send, it said that I was denied. Well, I'm sorry. When I said I was convicted of a crime and I went to go to the next line, it said, stop. You're not eligible. And I was like, wait a minute. Why am I not eligible? I'm a business owner, like everybody else.
Debt to society.
They closed all the businesses down. I only stood closed for 1 day. And I came back into my shops and I said, what is it that we can do to help the community? So they needed masks. They needed face shields.
You're right.
So I converted my CNC routers and the vinyl that we use to make signage, and we started making face shields.
Yeah.
And we started making
just 1 second. I just have to stop and just applaud that American entrepreneurial, we gonna figure it out. I don't care what it is, like something gotta pop. You
Yeah.
got
Thank you. Thank you.
That's
Thank
why
you.
I call him the takeover king, because he sees no obstacles, you guys. He doesn't understand what is an obstacle, an opportunity. Okay. So,
Exactly.
but I just wanted to applaud you for just having that never give up spirit. And when we're around each other, when I've been around you, like that is every day, all day, 24/7.
Every day,
Like
all
that's
day.
the energy that you give. So,
Yeah.
like, just take a moment for the audience. I want you to take a moment, and any obstacle that is in your life, look at it and see what you can do to overcome it. What can you do to overcome it?
I had my fabrication facilities convert our systems to make face shields. Initially, we were donating them to like the medical staff because they there was a shortage of face shields. With all of this going on, when the PPP loan pops up, when I apply and I get denied, I'm like, what the hell? So I just, it was enough. It was enough. And because like during my incarceration, I also studied law. I was a law clerk for over 10 years. So I decided to sue. And I sued the United States Small Business Administration, and I sued the United States Treasury Department, and both at the time was under the Trump administration. So when the lawsuit went in, the American Civil Liberties Union and some other legal groups got word of the suit, and they all chimed in and said, we'll help you with this free of charge if you're willing to transfer the case to Maryland. This happened probably like the end of May of 2020. And it was in every newspaper in the country. If you Google, John D. Garland sues the SBA, it'll come up. It was in the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, the Boston Globe. It was in all the newspapers. So Trump read about it. And that's when I got a call. I got a call from them if I was willing to tell my story. We had that conversation, and 11 days later, Donald Trump changed the law.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. And when you were telling Eric about it, the entire room was just crickets. Like everyone was just so engaged in your story, because one thing that you said that I'll never forget, you said, because of how you had studied law and your work in law, you were like, nothing ever happens in 11 days in law. And for him to have changed that law for felons who have paid their debts to society, and now they are successful
business owners and family men, and
that they should not be denied our participation in this. Nothing ever happens in 11 days. And for him to recognize that and rectify it so quickly, you were like, this is my guy.
Yeah.
This is the guy.
This is the dude.
This is the dude.
Yeah. Because and that's the thing about Trump. He gets it done. Even when he was in New York, like he was living in Essex House. Essex House looks over Central Park, right? The Wallman rink. It was an ice skating rink. It was an ice skating rink. I used to go to that ice skating rink when I was a kid. And city government said, "Oh, the rink is under construction," and like several years had gone by. We couldn't go in the rink because it was like they were pouring concrete on one side and then tearing up the other side. And then when the concrete poured that they dried, they would break that up, and then they was basically milking the contract.
Right.
So,
which is what happens, just for a moment, this is why conservatives, Republicans are so big on limited government. And this is why Trump shines in getting things done quickly because he's not your typical politician. I guess we
Right.
have to call him a politician now because he was the president, but
Right.
he's not in his DNA is not a politician.
Right.
He's like, let's get it done.
He's a
And
developer.
he's a developer. He's a
Yeah.
businessman. He's an entrepreneur.
Mhm.
He is, through and through that American spirit of I don't see obstacles, I see opportunity.
Opportunities.
And so that's what typically government takes a long time to do nothing, to do something really simple where you can have a private business that comes in and gets it done, typically under budget, under the appointed time that they originally thought that it would be done, because there is this, let's just get it done and let's do a good job. So
Right.
that's
Well,
why private is better than going with
right.
with
Well,
government many times.
There's nothing that the government has ever managed proficiently or efficiently. Like
there we
nothing.
go.
When you look at that aspect of government and big government, and it's a big waste of taxpayers' money.
That's right.
Here's a developer who helped change the skyline of New York City. When I was a kid, I used to go down to, I grew up in the Bronx. All the buildings and everything was crumbling around me. And I would get on a train and go downtown to these beautiful properties, these beautiful, immaculate properties, monolithic properties that Trump was building, and was like, this is how I want to live. This. How do I get here? How do I get out the rocks and get on top of the mountain? And even my business acumen, it was inspired by reading The Art of the Deal while I was incarcerated. It was one of my favorite books. By the way, big shout out to Donald Trump for having that entrepreneurial spirit where he didn't stay in his comfort zone with real estate. He could have stayed in his comfort zone with real estate and made billions of dollars. Like, I remember when Trump bought the it was like $100 million yacht from Anand Khashoggi back in the days, and when he bought his first airplane and Trump Airlines, and the casinos,
and the TV show.
Yeah, and the TV show. So he was willing to step out of his comfort zone to go into other areas, and whether you're successful or not, you still, it's your time, it's your effort, it's your money, and everything in business. I learned everything has an exit strategy. So just because he pulled out, if he's seen that Trump University wasn't working, like, I'm not looking at the fact that, he closed down the project. I'm looking at the fact that he started the project in the first place.
Right.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that I admired about him, was he was willing to step outside his comfort zone. And then when he did The Apprentice, like, that was one of the first business television shows, and it inspired me. It inspired me to, like, damn, I want to be on there. Like, like, I know I could kick ass in the boardroom, but when he decided to go into politics, all of a sudden was this narrative that he was a racist and he was this and he was that, and I was like, wait a minute, is this the same Donald Trump that I saw with Mike Tyson,
right?
Don King, Al Sharpton, Oprah, like P. Diddy with 50, like, this is the same Donald Trump that they talking about is racist. So I never bought into that. And I realized that and particularly the Democratic Party, what the Democrat Party does is like they are the purveyors of race baiting. If you put racism on anything, they know black people gonna sit there and go, what? Right.
Yeah, we're like our it's like a dog with a bone, like like our nose just gets real open, real wide. We're like trying to sniff out the races. Where are they?
Right.
Where are they?
Right. And So when I heard that, I was like, wow. Today I had a media interview, and somebody said, well, how do you feel about his position on the Central Park Five? I said, well, the first thing is Donald Trump isn't in law enforcement. So he wasn't responsible for arresting those kids. He was not responsible for having those kids indicted. He wasn't responsible for inducing them kids to sign false confessions. He wasn't responsible for putting them on trial. He wasn't the judge that sat before that trial. He wasn't the jury that came back with the guilty verdict. And he wasn't responsible for sentencing them. What Donald Trump did was what anybody in his position would do. He lived in Essex House. There was a horrific crime that took place in Central Park, which was basically his backyard. And when the media reported that there were 5 black kids who was charged with this crime, everybody thought those kids were guilty, including their parents.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, when you go back in hindsight and you go, well, they were exonerated and Donald Trump put this big ad in the paper. Donald Trump didn't put that ad in the paper because those kids were black. He put that ad in the paper because somebody got raped in the park. And there just happened to be 5 black kids that was charged with it.
It is quite astonishing. I don't think anyone has ever gone through this type of the media hit jobs and the attacks and all of the things that he's gone through. I've never seen anything like it before in my entire life. And I pray that we don't see anyone else treated like this, because it's not good for the country. It's not good for the morale of the country at all.
Not at all. And the thing is, like, people are forgetting, like, you focusing on Donald Trump and you trying to tear down Donald Trump as an individual, but he won the office of the presidency of the United States of America. So the same way the media and people on the left have attached his support group to what his possible politics are, like, when you turn around, you're doing the same thing to the office of the presidency. You're tearing down the prestige of the office. You made the man bigger than the office.
Right.
No one respects America anymore.
Right.
No one respects America. And one of the things that I most admired about when he was president was there was no wars.
That's right.
And
we had respect.
Yeah. And when he was going across seas and he was meeting with foreign leaders, like, he went there with his chest stuck out.
Right.
Like, I'm in the room, get out the way. Where's my seat?
Right.
I'm here. I remember
my button is bigger than yours.
Like, come on, like that's leadership. That's like, you know, I have no F's to give.
Okay.
America is in the building.
That's right.
You're going to respect us.
On my name. Put some respect on our name.
You're going to put
we help you guys with all kinds of stuff. We help so many countries with all kinds of stuff. And Donald Trump, not for nothing, he was like, let me tell y'all what y'all owe. I got the invoices right here.
Yeah.
Germany, you owe this. You know, the UK, you owe that. You know, and we're coming to collect our check.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you very much. You get no more protection. You get no more of because it was just too much. And he was right.
He was absolutely right.
It was just basic business practices, just some basic cleaning up of the books, just some basic principles being practiced here.
Yeah, let me tell you one of the things that I reflect back on when it comes to Trump's policy. When Trump was talking about building the wall, right? Mm-hmm. He was a racist. He was trying to start a war with Mexico. He was trying to extort the cartels. Like, I heard all kinds of stories, right? So everybody was against it. When he lost the election, or when the election was stolen, because the election was stolen, there's no way that you're going to convince me that Biden got more votes than Barack Obama.
Right.
You know,
I'm
so
with you there.
right. So when that happened, all of a sudden, we got this immigration wave, right? I look up, there's tent cities popping up in my neighborhood, and all these foreign people is hanging out in my neighborhood, and I'm like, where did they come from, and why are they here? You know, and the thing that marveled me the most was the fact that these weren't Mexicans that was coming through the Mexican border. They were Africans and Asians and Middle Easterners. And I'm like, wait a minute. If they're seeking asylum, how the hell did they get from the Congo to Mexico?
Hello, somebody.
Like, how did you get from there to? I'm struggling with buying a ticket to go to Mexico.
Hello.
For vacation. So how did thousands, tens of thousands of people from foreign countries get into Mexico and come across these borders? And why now? How did all of you get to Mexico? And you're coming across the border 15, 20,000 a day.
With your Biden-Harris shirts on.
Yeah, because
you look clean, you look fed, you know, everybody is, your shirts are crispy, you look fresh to death.
Yeah.
But, you know, the math ain't mathing.
It's not mathing.
But this is what regular, everyday Americans are looking at. This is what we're concerned about. I know when I live in Florida, and we have aggressive, you know, I mean, immigration is a federal thing, but we're doing everything that we can do here in Florida. And when I go to the grocery store, I'm looking around like, this is not looking like my neighborhood. Like, this is not my grocery store anymore.
Right.
Like it is, you can see it. It's
right.
heavy and it's everywhere. And this is what's on the minds of everyday Americans. So the Democrats are so perplexed. I was looking at some of the media that the left, when they're covering the event that you organized in the Bronx, they're perplexed. They just don't understand. How come all these colored folks be supportive of Donald Trump? Gas clutch my pearls. Like, how dare they? How dare you, as a Black man, exercise your own thoughts? Shame on you, John.
one of the things that I pointed out to my Democrat friends, who, you know, we sit down and, you know, we light cigars and break out the whiskey and we have these conversations. One of the things that I said to that I say to them is, no one owns my vote. Democrats nor Republicans.
Correct.
And I didn't support Donald Trump because he was Republican. I didn't support Donald. I supported Donald Trump as a candidate because I believed that he would get the job done. Because he already has money. So, like,
and donated his entire salary the whole entire time, his first administration.
Yeah. By the way, just that job pays $400,000 a year, right? Didn't Hillary Clinton spend like $786 million trying to get a $400,000 job?
Oh, correct.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to. You
know what is so funny? I remember when we had this conversation and we were just talking about like politics and stuff, and I was telling you how much some of these racists, like how much they were spending, and you're like, Quisha, who spends almost $1 billion to get a $400,000 job? And then we went even to who spends $1 million to get a state job? You know, and I was like, yeah, good point. Like,
the math ain't mathing.
The math ain't mathing, because you as you're just super smart and you see around the corners like nobody I've ever seen. you understand this, like this is what they're selling you, but their goal is something else.
Right.
And
Right.
with Trump, it wasn't that.
Right.
This is of someone who just actually gives
Well,
a
this
care
is the thing. Trump came in with an agenda. The agenda was we're gonna put the people first.
Yeah.
Like, we all gonna make money.
Right.
We're not gonna make money as individuals. We're gonna make money as a country. And one of the things that I'm concerned the most about America is, why are we all sitting on different sides of the streets pointing at our skin color when we're all under the same Constitution? We're all under the same Bill of Rights.
That's right.
We're all under the same set of laws. Just historically, we've been told that we're limited. You know, you can't do this, you can't do that. Yeah, I remember being in prison, hearing everybody saying, "Oh man, you can't go out and start up a business. They ain't gonna give you a license because you got a felony. You can't get a loan because you got a felony." And if I had allowed that noise to rent space in my head, I would have came out and would have went back to doing the same stuff that I was doing before I went to prison, versus, you know, becoming a businessman and, you know, and going through the challenges that I had to go through and establishing something for myself and my family. Like, that's the American dream. And we need to get back to that. We need to get back to the American dream, because right now with Biden and Joe and that, would rhyme with Joe, they gotta go.
They gotta go.
Joe and that Mo gotta go.
Right. They got to go. Like, I don't care how much you dance to Vibrant Thing and you think you know, the cackling, and you so want to be down, and if you don't vote for me, you ain't black, and while, you know, all of this foolishness, it's like, you know, none of that at the end of the day means anything, because people, you have, like you said, you have sold this lie of, if you look like this, you cannot be anything in a land where opportunity is everywhere. And Black Americans have to come to a place within ourselves and say, enough. You don't need to tell me who I can and cannot be.
Right.
You don't. You didn't make me, and so you can't break me. You didn't create this.
Right.
You know, so your what you think should mean nothing to us. It shouldn't mean anything. And not just because they're Democrats, not because they're white, not because of any it. What is inside of you, your creator? What did he put inside of you? That's what you should be going on.
Right.
You know, not what somebody else says about you, because
that's
God says, if I be for you, who gonna check you?
Right.
I'm paraphrasing the Bible. You know, if God be for you, who can be against you?
Right.
That's what you should be banking on, not some politician or a political party.
I'm speaking from a perspective, from a family who's 11 generations in. Like, we're 11 generations in. You tell me go back to Africa, I'm looking at you like you're crazy. Like, is Africa a street in America? Because that's where I'm from.
Hello, somebody.
You know?
Thank you very much. This is all this up and through here is mine. Okay? Yeah, that's right.
Right.
My family's blood, sweat, and tears is in this land. Thank you very much. I don't know nothing about nothing else. I know this up and through here. And my God and my Constitution said it belongs to me. Right. So and that's why I have so much beef with this border thing, because you have all these people coming in who are taking the birthrights, stealing birthrights of Americans.
Right.
You did not put in on this, man.
Right.
You didn't put in on this, and I'm sorry. Like, you just don't get to bum rush somebody's country.
Right.
And then take my stuff. And I will say one thing, when it comes, like, from back in slavery and then like the border stuff today, the one thing that we did not have before is a welfare state. So when you had you cannot have open borders and you cannot have all these people coming in and on top of that a welfare state.
Right. Right.
Them two principles do not mix. You're going
Right.
to have people they are consuming too many Americans' resources.
Resources,
so
yeah.
when you need to go and as an American citizen, and when you need, there's nothing, for you, because we again have, put given all this stuff away to people who are non-citizens. It's just not the right thing. It's wrong.
This is our country. And if you go to Africa, right? Africa, the continent, largest continent in the world, right? There's 66 countries there, right? The people from Monaco is not running up in Zimbabwe.
Okay.
That as soon as you cross that border,
it's a problem.
It's a problem.
It's a problem.
Yeah, they in some parts of Africa, if you are in one tribe and you cross the wrong river,
that's right.
It's a problem.
It's a problem.
So we're like American people. We got a right to declare security in our nation.
Correct.
Like all of this ain't for everybody. Everything ain't for everybody.
Hello.
You looking at it and you're going, imagine if we had the freedom or to go into somebody's house, right? I come into your house, hey Quisha, I just walk past you and go in your refrigerator. Take out a dozen of eggs, take out some bacon, go in the cabinet, grab some grits. You sitting there looking at me like, and I'm like, nah, I'm only doing this because I'm hungry. And you sitting there, and you eating my food in my house, and you telling me you got a right to be there.
Right.
Just like in Africa, like you come through my door and you're not invited, that's a problem.
That's a problem. And that's why we love that Second Amendment, okay? That's why we love the Second Amendment.
Exactly.
So, John, wrapping it up. So tell us, why are you, at the end of the day, why are you supporting Donald J. Trump?
One, he's already shown me personally through my interaction with his administration that he's willing to get the job done. That's one. Two, the way he handled COVID, and even the media was trying to like, oh, he said, to inject bleach, and I sat there and I listened to that interview, and that man didn't say that. What he was saying was, listen, I'm willing to try whatever it takes. Like, what can we do about this? I don't know much about it. Can we use infrared? Can we use bleach? Like, can we use detergent? Like, what can we use? And people were like, he's an idiot. Now, that doesn't seem like an idiot to me. That looked like somebody that was looking for a solution to a problem. And he was talking to the people who was responsible for coming up with that solution. And I think if Donald Trump wasn't in office, a lot more people would have perished. So given the things that he's done, like, he's earned my support. And, I got the media, the mainstream media and the left in this ear. And because I'm in the field and I'm on the ground in the trenches, I hear the people in this ear. And what the people are saying and what's being reported are two different things. So I said, you know what? I'm going to use my influence and my connections and take my experiences and say, let's bring Donald Trump to the most unlikely place in the world to see what the people say about him. Forget about what the polls say. Forget about what the opposing politicians are saying. And a lot of those opposing politicians is in the Republican Party because he put his foot in their ass first.
That's right.
So after all the smoke was clear, I looked and I said, this is a man that'll get it done, because he has no allegiances. He didn't really have no allegiances. Yeah, the party, like, it's like Donald Trump adopted the Republican Party. They needed leadership, and he was a leader. And he came in, he kicked all of their asses first, then he kicked the Democrats' ass. Everybody mad at him because he done stirred the pot. And you know what? I stirred the pot. So I could look at a pot stirrer and go, you know what? I appreciate your efforts. And he make it happen. He gets it done. And that's all he's shown me. He hasn't shown me anything else. He said he was gonna bring jobs to the American people. Unemployment was at historic lows.
Correct.
Right? But at the end of the day, ain't nobody in Washington thinking about the American people. Because you know what? It wouldn't be Donald Trump that was visiting the South Bronx. It would be Joe Biden that would be in the South Bronx. But Joe Biden knows that he's not coming to the South Bronx, and not only because he can't stand up for too long, but because he definitely isn't welcome there.
Right.
He's not, you know, and when I say he's not welcome, it's because, you know, people are fed up. They want something different. And Donald Trump, he's shown that he could deliver. And ladies and gentlemen, teach your kids civics.
Yes.
We live under a nation of laws. You have the information at your fingertips.
Yeah.
The first thing you do is teach your children the Constitution from front to back. Put the way you put the Bible in their hand, the way you put the Quran in their hand, put that Constitution in their hand. And let them know, like, these are your rights. This is what you're entitled to.
Yeah.
Because when we talk about white privilege, that kills me. Oh, there's white privilege. There's no such thing as white privilege. It's American privilege. And you choose whether you want to exercise it.
I so appreciate you coming on last minute and sharing your thoughts and just your experience in this whole entire thing. Tell everybody where they can find you online and anything else that you want to let the world know what you're up to.
Well, my Instagram is John Garland, CCMG. My Facebook is John D. Garland, right? And if you want to find out what I'm up to, I mean, I'm working on some films. You know, as you know, we my team and I, we produced Judas and the Black Messiah, got nominated for 6 Academy Awards and won 2. Well, look out for the book, Up from the Ashes, Simon Schuster. So it's always something that's going on, but all you got to do is just Google John D. Garland. Make sure you put the D in there, because if you don't put the D in there, you're gonna get some white baseball players. You know, you might get some World War II or Civic War heroes. But you know, if you want to know what I'm up to, it's John D. Garland, and I appreciate you having me here.
My pleasure. My pleasure. You guys, John, again, thank you so much for your inspiring story, and keep taking over. Take over, King.
And before I go, I want to say one thing. I am so proud of you. Keep up the good work. We don't have many conservative voices that's carrying our true message. Congratulations on your soon to come nuptials.
Thank you.
A very lucky man. You are a queen and a treasure to have. My love and respect to you and your family. Tell the girls I said hi. And keep doing what you're doing, little Oprah.
Thank you so much, John. I really, really appreciate it. I will say this, you know, well-behaved people rarely make history anyway. So nothing wrong with being a rabble rouser, right? Again, thank you so much.
All right, Quisha.